Now, in Hmong culture, earlier I talked about the three important things in Hmong culture: birth, waiting, and then marry, and then death. So now we talk about waiting. So remember, the first part is about birth. So marry is another very important connection in a Hmong culture. That when you're getting married, either the boy or the girl that got married, you are connecting to another family. So for the boy, you're also connecting to your wife family. For the girl you marry, now you're connecting to your husband family. In Hmong, we call 做给能给家. That is your connection point. Your parent gave your life when they gave you birth. Now, the day that you get married, you connect to another chapter in your life that will be the rest of your life. And so that's how important the Hmong wedding is. Hmong always believe that when you get married, you're not just married with your husband or your wife, but you're married with the other side of the family as well, and in the clan and in the community as well. So married become adult responsibility, become maturity of this young couple. And so Hmong wedding, that's why you see Hmong wedding, it's much different than other weddings. It's not just the happy time, the being pretty, running around and drinking and all that, but that's where you can see a lot of elderly start giving advice to the couple. Mong sen duan cai, duan vao, asking them, guiding them in the right way. Now you're going to move into your new family, how you're going to conduct yourself so that you'll be well accepted by the other family. So in the Hmong traditional marriage, I say it's a connecting point for the couple married. So for the boy, you will connect it to we call Cher Teng. So the girl's parent were asking one of their brothers or their uncle to be the representative for the girl, and will ask another one from her brothers or cousin, and will ask another person from the mother side to be there. So you have three people. One represent the clan leader of the girl's family, and one from her sibling, and one from mom's side of the cousin. Those are to make sure to protect her future in the marriage. Now, same thing on the husband or the guy's side when you get married. You need to connect to this, we call it Cher Teng, and those Cher Teng will be the one that monitor your married family, will oversee, will provide advising, consultation if your marriage not go accordingly. If you have differences between the two of you, those are the individual consultation you go consult with them. And so that it's a part of the protection in the family, the wedding system, that to make sure these two couple are doing okay. And if you don't treat it right, you always have the right to go consult with those individuals, and they will come mediate you on behalf. Mm-hmm. So in Hmong tradition, practiced for a long time, before coming to America, there's 4 different type of marriage. But I will only focus to the type of marriage that practiced in America today. And so today, normally the practice today, if the boyfriend and the girlfriend, they agree to marry, then the girl will follow the boy to the boy's house. When get to the house, the parent will normally get a chicken to brush off the bad spirit, bad luck, and anything that will be harmful for their new life, and they will use a chicken to to take away, to protect all of those evil things that will harm their life, and that's why they use the chicken to go around the new marriage. Now that also signifies that after you go through that chicken process, you cannot return back anymore. Now you belong to your husband. Now you are officially husband and wife. Now physically and spiritually you are belong to the husband's family side. You cannot return anymore. Then so you come back, then the husband's family side will send 2 messengers to the girl's side family to say, oh, she it's not kidnapped, she's not in any danger. Actually, she agreed, and both my their son and your daughter agreed to marry. We need to schedule for a wedding day, and so that the day was scheduled. Through the waiting process, both side of the family will have two representatives represent each family will come together on that day or that night to negotiate the waiting process. So the very first negotiation process, they'll come, they'll get greeting each other, they will talk about any if these two side of family have any grievance in the past that haven't solved, then they were trying to straining the relationship between the two family. And that's the process to talk about the past, the history of these two family. If in the past you don't treat our family right or we don't treat you right, from now on, use this as opportunity to do new beginning and treat each other right. And so they will do that process. After that, then they will negotiate for the dowry. The wedding dowry, the purpose of that wedding dowry, normally it's very much of supplement on any thing that now the girl married out to the guy family, and then now the girl family were lacking something. Traditionally, where we came from, a manpower needed, and so that really supplement for the family whatever need. However, that dowry money that paid by the husband side to the girl side, actually it's a cover for all the food, cover for all that, and not only that, the girl side of family also give a certain amount of money written back to the new couple so that they can start their new life. So in Hmong, we have a way saying that both sides of the family, the girl side always the one that lost. They never be able to replace anything because of the expenses, all the foods, and all the things that that family had to responsible for the wedding. So after married, then they both in the after that dowry, then that's the end of that night, and then the wedding day. Then on that wedding day, they will have on her family side, they will have somebody represent the clan. We call it Cher Teng, and somebody represent her cousin or her brother. We'll call it Dalo Teng. And then somebody represent from her mom's side, also called Dalo Teng. Dalo means Dalo Lo. Dalo Lo means it's her uncle. The other cousin, her brother, her uncle. Yeah, it's her uncle, her mom's brother. So it's her uncle. And then the other cousin, it's her brother. And so that's a two rolled up brother, and that's a Dalo Lo and Dalo. So Dalo Lo, it's her mom's brother, and Dalo, it's her brother or her cousin. So those three key people will be the one that set up to protect her marriage, to make sure that she get the right treatment from her husband's side, to make sure that she treat her husband's side of family right. And so these three individual roles will be more lifetime responsibility and oversee of this young couple. And always advise this young couple, when you have differences, when you have hardship in life, or when you need advice, these are the three people that you go for. And that protection plans, in case if the biological parent pass away early on, they don't have anybody, then she have the same age cousin, brother in her age group that can last her lifetime. Now, in case at the end of her day, when she pass away or her husband pass away, they normally come to that brother that they will go back to finish the whole protection plan, to make sure that anything that given to her by her parent during that wedding is not spending wrongfully, that is still safe for her. So in the wedding, you will see as a team, you'll see two Mekong, two negotiators, and then you will see the couple that marry, which is the bride and the groom. Now the bride will have another lady, lady or another cousin from the groom side to come along with the bride, and it's called, Hmong would call Niat Zai Jua. Near Zainjua, it means George, it means she's the one that go and accept and welcome the new relationship that this couple will build. So near Zainjua, Numu Zainjua, George to Ochening. Then for the groom, he also have another person, another cousin coming with him in Hmong we call Pila. That individual will help the groom to go build that relationship once again. Mupenia, Peizi, that means go bounds. Every time they bound, they're asking blessing from the girl family side. Uncle, we bound you. That means then the uncle have to give them blessing. Oh, you marry, you should be prosperity, you will be rich, you will be prospered. And so that is what the other person's coming with. So each team normally will consist of either 6 people or 7 people in each team for waiting. Okay. In the Hmong waiting, you will see an umbrella that with the black and white cloth or string attached to it. And the umbrella represent, actually the umbrella represent the bride. The umbrella represents the bride that will come to build the wealth and the life of the groom, and so that's the representation. But on the other hand, the umbrella is also the protection of all the evil spirit that will harm the new married. Now the black and white strip Hmong called Shiteng. That shiteng, the reason that shiteng tie into the umbrella, bring to the house, that shiteng, it represent that it's a proof that she actually the mother's daughter, because when they elope, when they run away to get married, she wear mom's shiteng in her head, and so make sure to have the shiteng back to mom to prove that this is her daughter, not somebody else. Now, the other thing that you will see in the Hmong wedding is the blanket. The groomsmaid will be the one that carry the blanket. Basically, blanket in traditionally you marry from village to village is a 1 day, 2 day walking distance. So they just carry that blanket to go on at night and use it. So blankets doesn't really tie into any cultural value system, but it's just for that purpose. The other piece that you see along that is a basket that carry on the back. That basket basically just hold your lunch and any other item that will go through the wedding. That's it. And so not really represent any ritual or any other thing. In that basket, you will have some other thing like a chicken and a rice and a wine to go offer to the ancestor on her family side to protect the new life and the married couple life in the future. Other than that, it's just for lunch and for the materials that need to be used in the wedding. Okay. In the Hmong wedding involving a lot of ning for the groom and the groomsmaid. So the very first kneeling is when you first enter the house, and you will kneel to the father, the mother, all the uncles, all the auntie, and the house spirit and the ancestor. So kneeling is a part of the respect and accepted that and asking for blessing for the new life of the couple. So the second kneeling is that when you have your wedding day, everybody come to eat. And in the wedding day in the table, when you kneel, that is when you're asking for your blessing for everybody who come to you kneel for everybody that who come to the wedding. And once again, go with a whole cycle of mom, dad, aunt, uncle, house spirit, and ancestor, and spiritual. And then the third is that when you're leaving the house, you also kneel, also another mom and dad. And so that the third one is just to send them to say, appreciate it. Everybody came here to help the wedding through. Now we're finished, we're leaving. All of you have to do the cleaning, everything, that taking care of the house. And thank you for coming. So the first one is much more of respect. And the second kneeling, it's much of asking for blessing. And then the third one is much just to say thank you for coming to get this wedding complete. And then you live to the house, to the groom's house. When you come to the groom's house, the groom's parent also have another whole ceremony at home waiting, and they are waiting for the new bride or new in-law into the house. So the whole community, the whole village will come to do a reception, much more like a reception as to the new bride that come and join the family. And so that also have another whole ceremony on that particular end. Okay. Monk waiting is part of the value system and in lifelong commitment. That's not only talk in the physical sense, but also dealing with the spiritual support system. That both the bride and the groom side also do a lot of offering to the ancestor and also to the God and the original spirit to help to protect from the spiritual side of it, so that this two physical body can continue to love one another to the end, and will learn to adapt well to each other, will minimize their conflict, will guide them a much more holy way and spiritual way to the future. And I think that's beautiful about the monk wedding. It's not only that the monk wedding come with a lot of song, and all those songs, it's a real poetry song, speak highly about the old time, the beginning of life, and to the middle of the life, and then to the end of life. That give us a perspective of the full circle of life. And so I think as a wedding practitioner that I do a lot of wedding for the last 20 years, every time I go through a monk wedding, I get a chance to walk through that, whole circle from the beginning, the creation of the mankind, him, and coming to this young couple get married, start their new life, and then to the end of their life. And it's just taking care of the physical part, the spiritual part, as a well-being. And I think that's the special, the beautiful, and you feel completed in a full circle in that way.